You are not poor. You are not limited. You are not forgotten. You have simply forgotten who you are. Wealth does not come first in the bank. It comes first in the mind. The rich are not born into riches. They are born into beliefs that allow riches to be born. They do not beg life for a blessing. They command it. They do not tiptoe around fear. They trample it with faith. They do not speak lack. They speak life. They speak law. They speak light. The rich know that words create worlds. Every declaration is a decree. Every thought is a sculptor carving the future. And so, they speak not of struggle, but of strength. Not of waiting, but of receiving. Not of someday, but of now. They live by a higher law, the law of divine substance. That unseen substance is everywhere, ready to take shape, ready to obey the orders of a mind in alignment. While others worry, they worship. While others fear, they focus. While others doubt, they declare, I am rich in mind, therefore I shall be rich in matter. I walk by faith, not by facts. What is mine by divine right cannot be kept from me. This is not arrogance. This is not delusion. This is truth, wrapped in spiritual authority. They do not chase money, they magnetize it. They do not hustle from emptiness, they move from fullness. And where others see a wall, they see a door already open. Let me tell you, prosperity is your birthright. But to receive it, you must think like it, speak like it, act like it. You must cast out every lie that says, I can't, I don't, I'm not. You must tear down every idol of fear. You must silence every whisper that dares say you are not worthy. Because you are. You are worthy of wealth. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of freedom. And it starts not with the world, but with your mind. So today, I say to you, take dominion. Speak with power. Walk in knowing. And remember this, the rich are not kept rich by money. They are kept rich by thinking that never allows lack to enter. And now, so shall you. Amen. It is done. Wealth is not something you chase. It is not something you earn in toil or beg for in desperation. Wealth is a frequency, a vibration, and until your thoughts align with that vibration, the material riches will remain distant, elusive, or fleeting. The rich are not rich because they are lucky. They are rich because they tuned their inner world to the reality they desired long before it showed up in their outer life. They live in a continual awareness that abundance is a spiritual fact, not a financial fluke. What does this mean? It means the rich don't wait to see wealth before they believe in it. They believe in it, and then they see it. They feel rich before the bank account confirms it. They think richly, speak richly, act richly, and then life mirrors that mindset back to them in money, opportunities, favor, and flow. The frequency of wealth is not accessible through fear, lack, or comparison. It only opens to the mind that dares to believe, even when appearances say otherwise. There is a spiritual blueprint behind every fortune. The rich understand that this world is not built from the outside in, but from the inside out. The universe responds to energy, and energy is shaped by thoughts. When you think thoughts of limitation, you send out signals of lack, and life echoes back with more scarcity. But when you think thoughts of overflow, of confidence, of divine inheritance, you rise to the frequency where wealth already lives. You no longer chase the thing. You become a match for it. You must understand, money is not the root of wealth. Consciousness is. A poor person handed $1 million with a poor mindset will sabotage or lose it. A wealthy-minded person, stripped of everything, will rebuild it all. Because wealth flows not from what's in the hand, but from what's in the mind and spirit. The rich have mastered this truth. That substance is spiritual. That everything you desire already exists in the invisible realm, waiting to take shape through your belief, your word, and your vibration. You cannot fake this frequency. You must live it. You must recondition your inner world daily. You must affirm boldly, think clearly, reject every lie of insufficiency, and give no power to appearances. Walk by inner vision, not outer facts. For facts are fleeting, but truth is eternal. The truth is, you are already rich in potential, rich in divine connection, rich in the power to co-create. Raise your thoughts. Speak abundance. Feel the joy of what is already yours. And soon, you will discover that wealth was never something out there to be earned, but something in here to be revealed. Prosperity is not a reward for hard labor. It is not reserved for the few, nor withheld from the many. It is a divine right, etched into the soul of every man, woman, and child. You were not born to scrape by. You were born to reign, to rise, to walk in fullness. The rich are not more deserving, more spiritual, or more favored by the universe. They are simply more aligned. They have accepted what others continue to question, that abundance is law, and this law favors no one, only belief. When a person operates from a sense of divine right, they do not approach life with timidity. They do not shrink when facing opportunity. They do not say, "Am I allowed?" or "Is this too much?" They walk boldly, speak confidently, and act decisively, because they know the universe is for them. The wealthy do not wait for permission. They give themselves authority. They claim their inheritance, not from man, but from the infinite source of all substance. And because they claim it, it flows. This law of prosperity is as real as gravity. It is always at work. It does not fail. But it responds not to desperation, but to dominion. Those who lack often pray for money while holding in their heart the belief that money is scarce, sinful, or uncertain. That belief blocks the law. It's not the words that manifest. It's the belief behind the words. The rich know that the law answers not begging, but knowing. Not hoping, but expecting. Not effort alone, but alignment. There is nothing noble about lack. Poverty is not purity. Struggle is not a spiritual badge. You were not put on this earth to chase crumbs, but to sit at the table. You were not called to survive, but to thrive. And when you begin to accept that truth, not just in your head, but in your spirit, you activate the very laws that have kept the rich rich for generations. You become an open channel through which divine substance can flow. The rich do not feel guilty for their wealth. Why? Because they understand it as a reflection of inner agreement with universal law. While others apologize for their desires, the wealthy celebrate them. They understand that desire is divine instruction. It is the soul's compass pointing to its rightful portion. And so, they do not resist prosperity, they receive it. Not with arrogance, but with reverence. To live in divine right is to walk in certainty. It is to know that what is yours by spiritual decree can never be taken by earthly conditions. You no longer hustle in fear. You move in faith. You do not manipulate. You magnetize. You do not steal, you attract. And you attract by standing in the unwavering truth that you were made for more. You are not an outsider to abundance. You are its heir. And the moment you accept that, the gates swing open, and all that is yours begins to appear. Fear is the great thief. Doubt is the silent destroyer. Limitation is a lie dressed in logic. These are the invisible chains that keep people bound, not just financially, but spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. The rich are not immune to fear. They have simply learned to master it. They reject it at the door. They do not allow fear to think for them, speak for them, or act through them. They understand that every thought of fear is a seed of failure, and they refuse to plant it. Fear is faith inverted. It is belief in lack. It is trust in the worst. And the mind that entertains fear cannot receive abundance, because the two frequencies are incompatible. One cancels the other. The rich think on a higher plane. When fear knocks, they answer with faith. When doubt whispers, they shout back with truth. When limitation presents itself as realism, they override it with the law of divine possibility. They are not swayed by appearances, because they know appearances are temporary, but truth is eternal. Doubt is subtle. It hides in logical reasoning, in statistics, in the opinions of others. It disguises itself as wisdom. But make no mistake, it is the great blocker of blessings. The rich have trained their minds to recognize doubt instantly and cut it off at the root. They do not indulge in second-guessing, overanalyzing, or waiting for guarantees. They move forward with knowing, because knowing creates momentum, and momentum opens doors that hesitation will never see. Limitation is perhaps the most dangerous of all, because it often comes wrapped in culture, family beliefs, and past experiences. Many have been raised to think small, expect little, and play it safe. But the rich refuse to let the past define their future. They break out of the mental cages they were handed. They challenge every ceiling they were taught to respect. They say, just because no one around me has done it, doesn't mean it can't be done. And so, they do the impossible, not because they are better, but because they believe differently. The mind is a battlefield, and those who prosper are those who conquer it. They guard their thoughts as a king guards a kingdom. They refuse to speak defeat, even when circumstances look grim. They do not affirm what they do not want. They are deliberate with their declarations, careful with their inner dialogue, and fierce in their mental discipline. They know that one moment of fear indulged can undo weeks of faith. So they stay alert, aligned, and anchored in truth. To reject fear is not to deny reality, it is to choose a higher one. It is to walk by vision, not by sight. It is to say, I am not moved by what I see. I am moved by what I know. And what they know is this: there are no limits in divine law, only in human belief. The moment you reject fear, doubt, and limitation, you rise into a realm where wealth becomes not a struggle, but a natural state. Because prosperity cannot live where fear reigns, but it rushes in where faith is king. There is a deeper compass within every person, a divine intelligence, a quiet authority, a voice that whispers beyond logic and louder than fear. The rich do not act blindly or compulsively, they act from alignment. They are not tossed by every trend or manipulated by every opinion. Their actions are not driven by panic, but by inner direction. They move not because the world says, go, but because spirit says now. That is the secret. Their power is not just in what they do, but in why and when they do it. This inner guidance system, call it intuition, divine instruction, or inner knowing, is the true source of wealth-creating decisions. The rich trust it. They have tuned their ears to hear it, and their hearts to obey it. While others calculate endlessly, second-guess, and wait for perfect conditions, the wealthy act on inner conviction. They do not need every answer in advance. They only need the next step. And when it is revealed, they move quickly, decisively, without apology. That speed of obedience opens doors that hesitation leaves shut. True prosperity is never chaotic. It flows with divine timing. The rich understand that waiting is not wasting when it is guided by spirit. They do not rush out of fear of missing out. They do not scramble for scraps. Instead, they pause, they listen, they align. And when they do act, it is with such clarity and force that what took others years unfolds for them in moments. Because when spirit leads the action, results follow with supernatural ease. This authority they carry is not arrogance. It is not loud. It is not prideful. It is anchored in identity, in the knowing that they are not separate from the source, but one with it. They do not look outward for validation, for permission, for signs of approval. They are led by the inner light. And that light is never wrong. That light may lead them where logic would never go, where others fear to tread, but that path, though narrow, is lined with gold. The rich trust their instincts because they have proven true. Over time, they have seen that following inner wisdom yields better fruit than following external noise. They know that opportunities aligned with spirit will never require them to compromise their peace, their values, or their joy. They don't chase. They attract by acting in harmony with who they truly are. You cannot access this power if you are ruled by doubt or the fear of judgment. You must clear the clutter, still the noise, and return to the quiet place within. That is where the guidance lives. That is where certainty begins. And when you move from that place, even one small step carries the force of heaven behind it. So let the world move in confusion. You move in conviction. Let others wait for signs. You become the sign. Let others seek permission. You act from power. For when you are led by divine intuition and inner authority, your steps are not just actions, they are declarations of dominion. And prosperity follows.